First of all, stop looking down on me. Secondly, let's play a game. You and your girlfriend get into an argument because you don't like the way that she dresses. Too provocative for your taste. So you have two options, and I want you to be answering them in your head. Option A, you break up with her. Option B, be it your girlfriend or your boyfriend, you tell your partner that what is most important for you is that they are happy, but you communicate that deep down inside it doesn't make you very happy, or it doesn't inspire a lot of confidence that they are dressing this way. Alright, well, let's go with another scenario. You and your partner want different things. You want no children and they want 5 children. So what do? Do you A, break up? Or B, tell them that life without them wouldn't be the same and you love this person, this is why you are with them. So you think about it and you decide that, you know what, I don't mind having some children, maybe in the future I am going to want them anyway, or I would have liked to have had them when I no longer have the opportunity to actually have them. So you know what, yeah, let's have a kid, why not? And maybe you meet somewhere in the middle, and because they love you as well, they say, okay, well, they don't want children, I'm not going to force them to have 5, I'll have 3. But what's about another scenario? You and your partner are arguing about different lifestyles. They don't like that you drink and smoke and do all of these things, but you can't get rid of these hobbies, or vices rather. Do you A, break up with them, or B, realize that maybe your partner that loves you is actually looking out for you, and that this is a chance for you to both keep the love of your life and also become healthier? So you say, okay, you know what, I'm going to drop this because I love you and I should love myself. Last scenario, let's say that you and your partner are arguing, and I say to you, Naruto shit, One Piece is better. Do you A, break up with them, or B, break up with them, or C? Somebody in my family recently went through a breakup. She told me how things ended and it was rather abrupt, and I know that most of us actually do this. When we have a breakup, it's just like a heat of the moment and whatever, and we don't talk things out. This is why most of the breakups don't end on a good page and we see our exes and it's like awkward, uncomfortable, all of this. So I was listening to the story of what exactly happened and I realized that the way that it ended was very unsatisfactory. And no matter how much they lied to themselves, they were still thinking about the other person and they still missed them. And this almost always happens when we care about the other person. Meaning, almost always, because if you don't care about the other person, you wouldn't get in a relationship with them. But this is actually a problem that's going to grow more and more, and people don't know or realize this. And I actually want to address this in a way that might enlighten and open your eyes like, oh my god, we're all doomed. We are. I have actually found a correlation to attention span with the span of our patience. Our attention span is in fact that in the first place. It's not having enough patience or attention to devote it to one task for long enough, so we're like, we'll go to something else. And the way that this relates to relationships is that something doesn't work out and we say to ourselves, well, fuck it, I'm not gonna stay here, let's go somewhere else. Another person, another thing. And then hookup culture is so prevalent nowadays that we have almost no boundaries between each other. You can meet a person for the first time, first date, and then sleep together very easily. You reach the most intense, physically speaking, point of intimacy, and what? Now this person can be discarded just as easily. You have a small argument about something and you don't try to work through it. You say, fuck it, whatever. Now remember the scenarios that I asked you on the first bits of the video. All of these scenarios were actually based on philosophies of life, right? About how you live your life and how you choose to do it. For instance, you might be the type of person that dresses in a provocative manner or however they want, because it's what you like to do and you don't do it for others, but you do it for yourself. First of all, let me tell you that that's a lie. And don't jump to conclusions. It's not bad to do things for others. We are social creatures and we do everything for the sake of others. We wouldn't have things like fashion if this was really the case. You look in the mirror and you don't like yourself and you say that you do all of this fashion stuff because otherwise you don't... Bro, like, no. You do it for the sake of others. Knowing this, you know, don't want to talk about values too much in this video, but you should value your partner and say, okay, I may dress less provocatively. If I was to be married, for example, I wouldn't take my shirt off at the beach nearly as much as I do. But because I'm not so, I'm like, okay, well, you know, whatever, it's hot. The weather, but me as well. And I believe philosophies of life to be something really important to discuss. I've only recently found this out. I want, for example, a big family, but I realize that increasingly so, this is not what most people want in the world. If I want to have 3 to 5 children, and I get with somebody that only wants to have 1 to 2, then maybe there's some sort of error there. Maybe we're not matched with the right person. But if we start to look for a person in concrete that's going to tick all of our boxes, are they really? Are we going to really think and pretend that this perfect person exists and that we are going to find him in our life? Look, eventually there will be things about this person, new boxes that will also generate, that they will be red flags, X, not meeting the right requirements, doesn't feel the correct way. And so this is when I started adopting the mentality that settling to an extent is good. Matter of fact, I would love if my family was religious and they could set me up with an arranged marriage so that I didn't have to think about all of this bullshit. Because what you could do is take a person and love them and realize that a lot of things that you want anyway may be just illusions or under the idea that you want love and you don't necessarily want it through the form or shape of 5 kids. And if you don't have 5 kids, you're not gonna be happy, right? And this is me being self-critical and self-conscious. I know that if I find a person that's ready to love me and that I will be happy with, a good wife, if she can't take 5 children, if she has a really hard time giving birth, I'm not gonna put her through that. She will be more important than that. And she might tell me that it's important for her, like she's a jealous person maybe. She doesn't like me going around shirtless because I have good body, whatever. Well, I won't go shirtless around, and I'll do it out of respect. And it won't be like, you can't tell me what to dress or whatever. But we're not thinking about it right. We love this person. We can make adjustments to ourselves. And I know a lot of people, the clever people who think they're clever, they will say, well, they fell in love with me the way that I was, and now they're trying to change me. It's certainly a clever argument, but I can guarantee you that they don't love this selfish attitude of yourself, and that you are actually not a very good person if you think to yourself, well, these things that they dislike about me are good, and I shouldn't change for the sake of anyone. A lot of the times, if a person really loves us, and they insist that they dislike or feel uncomfortable with something that we do, if we chose to love this person and they love us, the things that they will point out are probably not of our interest in the first place. If your partner's trying to get you to do exercise, maybe you're not very healthy. If they're trying to get you to do some sport, maybe you don't go out enough. If they're trying to, I don't know, there's different forms of ways of seeing this. There's different ways to interpret the reaction of our partners towards our lifestyle. Maybe we are stuck with old habits and we feel like we must still be promiscuous in order to attract somebody. But maybe you have already gotten your partner and you don't need to flirt with every girl or every boy that you see. You can chill now. You've got your wife, you've got your husband. Chill. All of these old couples, right, and that we don't get and we won't get any more of in our generation, nor the previous one, that are still together and married and they've been together for 60 years and they still love each other. Do you think they happened to meet the perfect person in these small villages where they couldn't really travel as much as we can now and there wasn't a global scale of things? Do you think that they met a person that ticked every box? No, they didn't. They found somebody and they loved them. They made a little adjustments to their life so that they wouldn't make the other person miserable. Why? Because they loved them. And it doesn't take a lot to love somebody. If you've ever felt like a crush on someone and made sure that this crush wasn't just carnal, right, that you weren't just turned on by the shape of their body and you wanted to have sex with them, but you actually liked the way that they move, the way that they speak, the things that they speak of. If you've ever felt passionate feelings towards somebody, you will realize that loving is easy. Now you must keep and preserve this love. And you will not preserve it with the attitude of things are working out, they're difficult, I'm going to go to the next thing. That's the exact same attitude as, I don't like this TikTok, I'm gonna scroll. I don't like this TikTok, I'm gonna scroll. And you know what will happen? You will end up, let's say the TikTok analogy, it will be the end of your day and you would have ended up doing nothing. All of these plans, all of these ideas, these great things that you wanted to do. Now you're there, it's dark, and you're still in bed, you haven't achieved anything. Oh my god, the distress you must feel. In a similar fashion, you will get through your life, you will get older and older, and you will realize you're alone. You haven't made memories with somebody that was by your side now. You always chose the fast way out without fighting for anything. But if you want to be a lover, you gotta also be a fighter, because if you don't fight for your love, what love do you really have?
I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover.
I don't know, no, because if you're a lover, you gotta be a fighter.
How so?
Because if you don't fight for your love, what kind of love do you have? No, I'm kidding.
Look, honestly, the things that I'm talking about now, I am doing for myself, because I really am worried. I'm worried for you, I'm worried for myself and everybody. I see all older generations, single, miserable, a lot of us compared to the one before, and I can only assume, considering the direction that society is going in, it's going to be worse and worse. I'm not going to be one of them. I'm going to wait until I'm ready, first of all, to actually get in a relationship. This is not a small deal, it's a big deal. This is your other half, it's the person you're going to grow old with. It's not, oh, I'll have fun this weekend. No, because I don't want my wife to have fun this weekend. I want her to wait for me, what the fuck? So I'm not gonna go and do the things that I don't want for myself. And another final reason is that even if you decide that, okay, well, I'm gonna have some fun now, and then I'll be more serious about it later, you'll be more serious when you have less opportunities, less chances. You'll be looking around and you will have to settle down. You will settle for something less than you could have had if you chose properly. Now you're going to choose, you're going to be forced into a decision, maybe with a girl or with a dude that's not worth your time. They don't make you as happy as all of these other people that you can think of that made you happy throughout your life. You stick with them and the feelings are there, kind of, but not really. There are no longer decisions. Now you truly are forced into something. You're getting older and you want kids, but you've been having fun. Yeah, wow. Now the clock is ticking fast and harder than ever before. You've got anxiety. You rush to decisions and you make mistakes. If you are in your early 20s like me, or younger or a little bit older, take it slower so that you can make the correct decision. If you rush into things now, if you have fun now, you're going to really regret it in 10 years. Obviously, I am not in 10 years' time yet. These are just assumptions, you could say. But if you are offended by the things that I'm saying, I'm sorry. I will end up succeeding in the thing that I have been striving for. And you, who went from object to object to object, to thing to thing to thing, to person to person to person, never really devoting themselves to anything, will be more empty than anything else. You'll be nihilistic, depressed, and you think to yourself, if only I could go back, if only I knew better, if only this, if only that. How about we actually for once use the example of the people that are older than us? Not necessarily the advice they give us, but the example that they show. Look at how many miserable, old, lonely people there are. I'm not going to be one of them. And I hope that you listen to my words and decide for yourself that you don't want that for yourself, and that you're not going to be one of them either. I'm balancing this on my leg. Okay. Strive to be 1% better every day, and much love. Quick reminder to fix your posture and take deep breaths into your diaphragm from your nose.